here in Las Vegas. An attraction that opened only 11 years ago, but seems like it's been here forever. But oddly enough, it is really in the young phases of its life as a museum here in Las Vegas. It's on the outskirts. I've actually just finished the tour, so you're going to enjoy a pretty much uninterrupted tour. I can't even say it. Yeah, I've been at a casino or two before here. You're going to enjoy a tour and all the amazing brilliance of that is inside the grounds of here, the Neon Boneyard Park. I'm really glad that I came, actually. I would recommend getting here and securing your tickets even on the day. It sells out very fast, and for good reason, because every visit is a toured experience for the first 45 minutes, which you're going to enjoy for the first half of this vlog. And in the second half, there is a light show that we're going to experience that closes out the entire show. I will already say this is definitely one of the best attractions I've done, not only in Las Vegas, but in the world, especially if you're into this type of history and lighting in general. Like, it really is one of the best things you can do. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so glad that I already did it. So here you go. Enjoy a tour of the Neon Boneyard Park here in Las Vegas.
The original 1966 Aladdin lamp. That was the first lamp used in 1966. Come over here to this one. It's all lit up for you. Right here. We're going to check out this beauty. Now, one. And on this sign alone, there's 1,645 light bulbs. So if you guys go to Fremont Street later, go down to Vineyards and check it out. All that neon is still working from the 60s. But you will not see any more H's down there. And now, before I tell you about this sign right here, I'll give you a quick layout of the museum. It's in the shape of a horseshoe, the strip side, ending up over there in that courtyard. Like I said, you'll have about 25 minutes to finish up on some photos, use the restroom, get shopping. And then at 9 o'clock, head over to the other side for the organ show. But for now, check this out. The sun used to look like a golden nugget when it was all lit up with chaser lights. Keep in mind that the Golden Nugget opened in 1946. So if you're all looking at these numbers up here, figuring that's probably just their address then, that is actually the year Las Vegas was founded. That's their way of paying homage to that year by putting the date right on it. But I am also very confident that every single person here has already seen another piece of 50s. A huge accomplishment for a young lady back then. Now, the Moulin Rouge, the hotel casino, opened in 1955, closing just 5 months later in 1955. They were also known to be very generous with the money. They treated their guests just like 1950.
High stakes poker all the time, and that ended up turning
Fitzgerald sign right here is only one of them. The Fitzgerald used to be an Irish-themed hotel casino down on Fremont Street. More modern CCFL bulbs, cold cathode fluorescent lights, versus the old behind it, which accented that arrow direction. Those buildings up there used to have fluorescent backlighting coming through those little windows. Now, Sassy Sally looks like she's from the Old West with her Western motif and ornate letters up there, but she's not that old. She's actually from 1980. And she has 2 subliminal messages. Well, they think out in 2011, they got in there generosity. So, thank you. Plaza. And for those of you that have seen Back to the Future 2, they used the Plaza Hotel in that. St. Louis Hotel's name. Biff was the Plaza. There. Another movie buff thing. Let's switch sides. It is not a neon sign. It is only neon style. There's no neon gas in this sign. Can you all see the La Concha sign down there with the blue letters spelling out La Concha? That blue color is the argon. It's the red trim that's neon. These letters are bent. You can actually see the blue argon coming through that green powder coat. And that's the reason why they use the argon gas in all the greens, the yellows, and always in the white. because if they were to use the neon gas, the red would bleed through that green, changing it to orange. That piece up there, it would look like the Moulin Rouge down there. That sign down there, it has a white powder coat inside the glass tubing, just like this one does. But using the neon gas, they create that brilliant pink color. Those glass tubes, solid yellow. Blue plus yellow make green. In this case, argon green. It's the term neon that was given to 39 colors that glow brightly through glass tubing. Hence the term neon sign. Concha lobby that you were just in a few minutes ago. Except they all used to be about 3.5 miles south of us, 60, 70, or 80 plus feet in the air to change those light bulbs. So they installed this ladder system right into the sign. Those are 1-inch gas pipes sticking out of the sign. It allowed someone to physically climb hand over hand the height of that guitar and then some, just to change light bulbs or touch up paints. Sign right here, also from the 50s, with the very popular character on top. Mostly because he's over 75 years old and he's world famous. You guys might think of him as Vegas Vic from the Pioneer Club down on Fremont Street. And what we got here is a representation of the perception of Las Vegas back in the 30s, 40s, and into the 50s. That this was a wild, wild west town with cowboys and Indians. They sell this sign down there. And whoever's taking photos, I recommend turning the flash back on. There's a lot of detail in this sculpture you're going to want to look at later when you look at your pictures. But first things first, this sculpture, it's the third directional sign on the journey. Not with a giant arrow like the last two. He's got this cue stick instead. He would have been sitting in a parking lot across from Doc and Eddie's pool hall back in the day. And the artist that created this work of art back in 1983 up in Montana. This one here starts out as a drawing on a piece of paper by the owner's teenage daughter. She draws it out. She names it Happy Shirt. And her dad had this created and used on Steiner dry cleaners. Very, very popular here in Las Vegas back in the 70s through the 80s into the 90s because Steiner dry cleaners handled all of Liberace's outfits, both the ones on stage and off. There's no one did the antiques. But they reopened successfully in the early 60s as a bar. By 1969, the Red Barn is one of our first openly gay bars in Las Vegas, and they do not close until 1988. But shortly after that closure, the building itself burnt to the ground, leaving only that sign undamaged. Before that sign could be taken away and destroyed, a group of people formed a committee, and they secured that sign along with other signs. The cow. So if you aren't familiar with Anderson Dairy Products, there is a cow in everything they sell. Even their delivery trucks have that silly cow in it. Because prior to that, we were in Prohibition. Maddie Jones was doing pretty good business for herself during Prohibition. Illegally, of course. She was selling fried chicken and bootleg whiskey out of her kitchen window. Well, we did Maddie a favor in December of 33. We abolished Prohibition. She buys a place down the street, puts the sign up on the building, legally advertising cocktails, steak, and chicken. This here is just one of the skulls from Treasure Island. He was installed back in 1993 when they opened. And then they took them down just 10 years later in 2003. That was the beginning and the end of our family-friendly decade. We only have one skull in our possession because his twin that was on the other side of the pylon was destroyed when they took it down. Extremely fragile. It's just a fiberglass shell and some paint. And that's the reason why he's on his back here tonight. See, if we were to stand this piece up on end, he would literally collapse under his own weight like the first one. And since we can only take profile photos here tonight, I do recommend both sides because actually the other side is better side, but both sides is good because later on you can Google map the Boneyard. He's looking straight up at the satellite that flew overhead and took that best photo. See that fishtail on this sign? Makes it unique to the 40s, by the way. This one would have been pointing at the Alibaba Wedding Center and Motel back then. And that's why it simply says wedding information on it, which is also a very good reason why everybody should have a nice photo of this in their collection. Whether you get married or just got married, or if you got an anniversary coming up, you could take a nice photo of this, post it on your social media, and then put the date and time of the past, present, or future to remind everybody when it was or going to be. It was only third grade, sixth grade, and I went away for a while to see if they opened up a hotel.
Alright, so welcome everyone to Neon Boneyard.
1146 are working. There are 4 that aren't working. The other 5. Now, it is a pretty spectacular sign, yes. But would you believe that this sign is only a partial restoration? See, no metalwork was done to this piece, and no paint was added to it. This sign should also have neon on the outside of every single letter here. See, this was a billboard sitting on the outskirts of Vegas. You would have seen it driving in from LA back in the day. It was fully restored just about 5 weeks ago. We unveiled this piece 4 weeks ago. The Lido de Prix started at the Stardust back in 1958. And after over 22,000 shows and over 19 million guests, they finally closed their doors in 1991. I only have 3 more pieces for you. I'll tell you about the cigar side last, so don't worry about it yet. And that is the end of the journey with me, not the end of your journey. First of all, this is all yours to hang out, take photos. Just don't go back either side of these sides because we got tours coming and going. But this is yours. I do want to thank you all for supporting the museum tonight, though. And then after the rest of the gift shop, make sure you watch the time because that.
This tour really gave a good insight into a lot of what Las Vegas is about, as far as its history, as far as what it's named after, which is a land of meadows in Spanish, or the meadows, if you will, which, you know, I'll save the joke for what it was made in the tour, but it's certainly not that now. What a brilliant tour. The Brilliant Jackpot Show, which is an addendum to this tour, is a projection show to illuminate former signs that they can't quite bring back up to speed.
All right, everyone. Now, as we all head in, this right here is our Las Vegas Luminaries mural. Now, it is called Las Vegas Luminaries because it is made to shed light on the lesser-known stories that you probably would have never heard about if you've not come to the Neon Museum. Now, on this side of the museum, or of our mural, you will see the headliners, the people who kind of created the showmanship and just over-the-top, iconic era of Las Vegas.
The whispering of her palms and her blue-silver pools are a flavor that bestirs enchanting. This is the one state that attracts like a magnet. And whether they come by car, rail, or circle the city and drop in by plane, their eyes pop wide open with their first glimpse of Las Vegas.
So, it's California, it's cold and it's damn low. Say it's me that you adore. Up there, I'll be holding you so awfully near.
Just finished up the brilliant jackpot. In fact, it's actually going on behind me, but it is Vegas. There's a lot to do. I'm not so sure I'd recommend that part of the show if you're coming here with a limited time. I would probably just do the museum itself and skip the brilliant jackpot show if that is within your interest. You got a little glimpse of it there, but personally, I wasn't really blown away by that particular display. If you want like an amazing display of something kind of like that, definitely watch my Currents vlog from Niagara Falls, the Las Vegas of the North. Without question, on this recent tour, I am without doubt of the similarities between our small little Clifton Hill section and Vegas itself. But the thing about Niagara Falls is that there's a huge attraction, natural to check out. But besides the point, overall, 100% recommend this museum. Unbelievable experience. Maybe a little on that second half that's still going on behind me, but other than that, yeah, you have to come here and check it out, especially if you're a fan of the history of Vegas. I feel like in the last hour, I've learned more about this city than I ever have. You can come during the day, but I definitely recommend coming at night. All right, guys, thanks for watching.